Hello, people. As you can recognise, it's Savitar at the moment. Kanan will come in a minute. Sorry for the long wait, but we hope this podcast will make up for it. Isn't that right, Kanan?
Well, if it doesn't, we're going to be fucked.
Oh, you got the audio running this time, yeah?
I'm hoping it is, because I haven't...
If not, I'm going to murder you. Not literally, people.
You'll send your trusty hitman to do it.
Exactly.
And you won't succeed. So you might need to hire a new hitman afterwards.
Yeah, I'll hire Agent 47.
I do understand that reference, and meh.
My God! Thank God!
But yes, everyone, the podcasts are officially back after a not really desired break that we've taken.
Yeah, not our fault.
No, it's not.
It's Kanan's dad's a fucking dick.
Pardon?
It's because Kanan's dad's a fucking dick.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah.
Nah, but we've certainly discussed a lot and stuff off podcast, you and I.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss some of that tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for that last point actually. Cause I was looking at the podcast plan. I forgot about the new CW's schedule, so thank you for that.
No worries. We'll discuss that a bit later.
Yeah.
But I think we should say where we've actually been.
Well, I've been free actually. It's basically been Kanan that's been the problem. Well, his dad anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? Yep.
So I've also been looking into moving. You've been doing the same, but instead of actually moving anywhere worthwhile, all you've done is move a few hundred yards.
Not even that.
Yeah, not even that. So
I moved a couple meters.
You literally did the most half-assed moving out possible.
Caravan on the drive, yeah. Free internet. Free slaves that my sisters or my parents bring them the food, so nice.
It's literally the most half-assed move out possible.
Last night, they brought it to the flipping caravan. They might as well just laid it down in front of me and said, "Here you go." Yeah.
Nah, so I've been looking into moving.
Yeah, properly moving anyway.
Yeah, because yours is just the most half-assed and lazy move I've ever heard of.
Meh, it's what my parents wanted to do anyway, so I'm not going to argue, am I? I'd be an idiot too. So.
So yeah, Dylan's been doing that. I've not had internet for about 2 months.
How long it's been?
Roughly, yeah.
Oh, damn. They probably thought the podcast was cancelled.
Nope, they're not.
Yeah, yes, yeah, that's where we've been, really. It's basically been the random, oh yeah, because, I'm guessing this is, like, the first point is kind of the intro at the same time as an actual point, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, cool, so it's 5 minutes rambly.
Thank you, Chris, for the name.
Pardon?
Thank you, Chris, for the name when he called us out on that a while back, you remember?
Oh, did he? Wait, is that where I got it from?
Yeah, that's where we got the name from, because Chris called us out on it.
Thank you, Chris.
You just keep rambling on for I'm just like, yeah, we did this for about 5-10 minutes at the start of every episode. And that was in the Last Jedi review one, which in the end never got uploaded, because that was when, I just had too many to sort out, render, and upload.
Damn. I forgot about that. I forgot about that, because you and Chris started talking about not safe for work stuff as well.
No,
that's creepy.
No, we didn't.
Oh, could you use the Force to do someone? Technically, yes. If you can influence life, then yes, you can do someone with the Force.
Anyway, so yeah, go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so some news which you might not know of, Kanan. Just this morning, and when I say this morning, I mean like 12 hours ago now. It's like 1:30 in the morning for the UK. my game got Godspeed cast.
Oh, nice.
Yep. The guy's better than you.
Yeah, right.
Well, one, it's an actual American accent. The only reason your British accent was excused because you was good.
Oh, cheers. You fucking prick.
Hey, you already knew that ages ago. So, don't act like it's news. I swear, if you're trying to probe my mind, don't even bother.
No, I'm not trying to probe your mind.
It's just the heat that's giving me a headache. Then.
Yes,
Cool.
it is. But
Must resist Savitar quote the way you just said yes it is, for fuck's sake.
yeah, you've done the most half-assed move possible. I'm looking into actually moving out, like, properly.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Oh yeah. You know Barry in Lightning's Retribution.
Yep.
Well, the voice actor, I mean, Smitty Smash, yeah.
Yep.
Don't know if you remember this, but yeah, or if I've told you, but yeah, he's still on my one as well.
Well, obviously.
Well, you have to steal the entire flipping BTVA page, so can't. Yes, I still hold that against you.
You really should just move on or find something new to hold a grudge over me for.
Oh, come on. I've been on the page for like almost a month and we've got 16 auditions. What's yours?
I can just imagine Heath Ledger Joker clapping at you from The Dark Knight.
That's it. If you send this to Chris to edit, Chris,
I'm not sending him anything to edit from on this episode. I think it'll be from the next one.
What's like what tomorrow or the one after that?
I don't know. It depends because if you're running tomorrow's podcast, bearing in mind it's tomorrow for me and Dylan. It's like a week apart for you guys, unless it's a bonus episode, because you're the one making the plan. So it depends if there's anything like video work in there that I can get Chris to edit. So you'll have to send me the plan afterwards. In
reality, it would just be like it would just be like discussing the finale because we're doing this one before the finale. Bad timing, Kanan.
I did literally have a bracket saying, I know 23 ain't out, but fight me if you don't like it, boy.
1v1 on Fortnite?
I don't play Fortnite, actually. I don't really give a damn about it.
I can't.
You can't play anything on your fucking laptop, mate.
Please donate, people. Please donate. Not even for the game, because that's illegal. Just for me to get a better laptop.
To be fair, you can actually play it on phones.
I'm pretty sure it's only on iOS. Or no, it's on specific models. You tailor it for specific models of phones.
But
if I get my phone, I'll be amazed.
I'm never gonna get it. It's not really anything that really.
Oh, it's good. It is good. Oh well, it has panels on it as well.
Yeah, well, meh, I guess. Oh yeah, next podcast we're doing after this will be the Infinity War review, so you need to go see that before next week.
Oh yeah, you said you'd pay me some money, yeah, for that. You still up on that, or I won't be able to see it before next week?
We'll discuss that after the podcast.
so yeah, you're gonna give me like 20 quid. I'm gonna have to get you something, yeah. Just send you something, like I don't know. Get your poster if I can send it to you. I don't know. I can imagine you doing it actually. Don't.
Would you like to discuss the Flash season 4?
Yes. I've been dreading this.
Why have you been dreading it?
Because of your opinions on the entire season.
And
people, as a warning,
they're not good.
Yeah. Just Karen, I was speaking. I don't care if you're my elder. I'm still talking. Okay, I usually pick up all the flipping episodes, seasons, because I genuinely find them good. Since episode 16, however, episode 16 was like one of the last good ones, really. Like, in a row, anyway, in my opinion. And then,
Then you've got me, the cynic.
And
And
it's
the
like
critic.
it's like going downhill. It's like going downhill, in my opinion, after episode 16. 17, just. Actually, I even put something somewhere. Can't remember where it was though. But yeah, this end of this season, the end of this season not been good. Last episode 22, that was good. That was good. Oh, that opening though. Oh.
See, here's where I'll disagree with you, but I'll also say that it's not been completely bad after this point. It just slowly went downhill to the point it became, in a way, very unwatchable.
Arrow season 4.
Pardon?
Arrow season 4.
No.
I did tell you that it would get like Arrow season 4.
Here's something as well, but I'll discuss this more later. I do hope that Supergirl and Legends break that curse, but I'll discuss that more a bit later, sort of after I've done my initial review and we do a bit more of an in-depth discussion.
Oh my god! I've just realised, this next season, it will be Legends of Tomorrow season 4.
Yeah, and Supergirl season 4.
I feel old! I remember before Legends of Tomorrow even existed! I feel old!
Welcome to how I feel.
You've been watching Arrowverse since the beginning, haven't you?
Yeah, I have actually.
Jesus. Do you remember a time when it didn't exist?
2011.
Fair. Oh wow, fuck you. Oh yeah, you said you was going to make a moving joke. What was that joke, by the way?
Yeah, the one that you only moved about 100 yards away from where you lived.
100 yards would be a lot further than where I am now, actually.
You barely moved.
1 yard is something like 20 feet, if I remember correctly. So, I've moved like 10 feet away-ish.
You've not even... Jesus. Nah, but let's get to the review point, because I do kind of want to get this bit done.
Oh yeah. A yard is just under a metre. So yeah, I'm like 3 yards away.
Quality moving.
Thank you.
There, Dylan.
Thank you, Google, for that quick
bit of knowledge
version. Not sponsored. Hashtag not spawn.
Yeah, nah. My opinions on the Flash really is that it really started going downhill after episode 7. I don't include the crossover because they're designed now to be their own sort of separate thing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It had its own opening.
Yeah, it had its own opening, but also, you stop with all the fucking noise, mate.
Sorry.
Every fucking podcast you do this.
I'm eating lunch, mate.
Can you try and make a bit less noise as you do it?
Anyway.
Nah, it really started going downhill after episode 7, after sort of Barry confronting Devon. If you were to ask me what made it good up to that point,
what made it good up to that point?
I'll answer you, good sir.
I'll answer you, good sir. Okay.
No, I'll answer you. I think one of the things that made it really good was a lot of the intrigue and mystery they had surrounding DeVoe before he's decided, okay, yeah, now it's time to somewhat reveal myself and
yeah.
stuff.
And
I think after that, because I'll touch on this more again in the in-depth discussion. They call him the Thinker, but like, how much has he really used his intelligence to outwit them, as opposed to just making very dumb decisions that I think is what allowed his Team Flash to win by the end of it.
Oh no! They're going into his mind in the next episode, by the way.
Yeah, that's going to infuriate me.
It's inspired by Inception, so it's going to be like some weird stuff. Also, apparently there's going to be a Team Flash death, and I do not like that. I don't like that.
There's
another death.
There's a death.
Please be Marlies. She's on Team Flash at this point. Please be Marlies. If it's Joe, I'm not going to be happy.
I don't think they'll kill off Joe. But that said, what you have to consider here is that a lot of it feels like very lazy writing, very lazy in terms of scripts.
They changed the motive halfway through the story, I can tell.
They changed a lot halfway through the story.
Yeah, I mean, in episode 7, like the one you said, it was revealed that his plan was to make them more smart. But then all of a sudden, it's making them dumb. Nah, they they definitely changed that, because he literally said, how are we supposed to enlighten them if their minds are too small to handle the gift of knowledge anymore? If it was to make them dumb, then the smaller minds are the better, because then he can expand their minds as he makes them smarter in his own image. But no, he wanted their minds to be bigger. He wanted to make them smarter. And then they just changed it. Right? And the reason we know they changed it halfway through the season is, I mean, you could argue that as he's growing smarter, he's changed his mind. But then we got shown a flashback where he wanted to make them dumb, and it's literally going against episode 7. It was contradicting itself.
There's a lot of contradictions here, and you get that really because you know, I think by the time episode 17 came around, very few elements of any sort of episode really ever excited me. I wasn't really excited by episode 17 at all. Like, Kevin Smith had a good cameo, and that was about it.
Oh yeah. What would your opinion be if all like Devo's thing was just to get money?
I'd say for a big bad of an Arrowverse season of anything really, it's not really a very good motivation.
I tell you, you don't like him anymore.
No, I like the money guy. I'm just saying that
cool.
it would be funny, but it wouldn't really be a good motivation. But it would probably be a damn sight better than what we've had this season. I won't lie.
Oh god, what if I make it a sob story? What if I make it a sob?
See, if they'd given him something sort of tragic happening to him, I think I'd have gotten behind him as a character. But here's the thing, people have pointed this out to with Arrow this season as well, and that's ended, and I really enjoyed it. I understand that people have said it's not that good, and yeah, there are elements where it's sort of like it doesn't really work as well, but Arrow aside, they pointed out that the main villain, Ricardo Diaz, doesn't really have any personal motivation to be going against Oliver Queen, aka the Green Arrow. I get the same feeling with Devo that they've put him in for the sake of putting him in, but he's no personal reason, no personal vendetta or anything against Barry to fight against him.
Never was personal though, was it? He needs Barry to further his goals. It never was personal.
Yeah, but then the goals, as you've pointed out, they're very stupid now because they.
I want it.
No, they are stupid now.
Yeah, they're stupid. That he wants to make everyone stupid. It's ironic.
Yeah, it's ironic, but also, I came up to you with a theory, if you remember, a very long time ago, sort of when things really started just to deteriorate a bit. Like, it wasn't to the point where I'm feeling now that most of it's unwatchable. But it was getting progressively worse.
Fuck his iOS. But
and that theory was that Andrew Kreisberg, who was one of the showrunners and one of the writers.
Oh. Yeah.
Because
he got booted off.
Yeah, he got booted off. And bearing in mind, since we never discussed this on podcast because I gave you the theory off air.
Yeah.
I will say, I do not condone anything he did. It's absolutely disgusting.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, why harass women? Why sexually harass anyone?
Yeah,
really?
exactly. But,
I can't just say women, can I? That's not good.
No, you
anyone.
But that aside, you already know instantly that he was probably the one who was coming up with the majority of the story stuff for this season.
Yeah, I mean they did. They did have to change it as well for one reason, and it's not even their fault. 1 minute, let me just get it up. Actor CW. Jessica Camacho, the actor for Gypsy. She was meant to be a regular in season 4, and then she went and got herself a series regular part in a different show, which means she couldn't then do it on the Flash. So while she knew she was meant to do it on the Flash, she went and got a job somewhere else basically. She basically just screwed up season 4 because that's.
It's not really her fault though, because maybe she didn't actually know the news at the time and she literally just found out after she got it.
Boy. What I'm saying is, you know how oh for God's sake, I can't talk about Queen. So as you said, like they probably they redid his goals basically. They just wiped over them and just changed them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because like you said, Andrew Kreisberg thing. What I think is the fact that they had to redo what the fact that Gypsy went. I think she's meant to be in the second half. I think she's meant to appear heavily in the second half.
Here's the thing though, because we've seen like some of the stuff she has had through some episodes, and the argument is that she's just another character you then have to try and force into the plot and force a story arc.
She was meant to be important or something. That they had to change everything because
regardless of how much they had to change, I'm not saying this specifically about her. I'm saying about characters in general. There are too many characters this season, and none of them really get the kind of spotlight they deserve. I don't really think anyone has any passion, so for once, I'm not just picking on Candace Patton. I'm actually picking on all of them.
If you let me finish what I'm saying, Kanan, before going off on the tirade. So, Jessica Camacho got herself series regular on a different show after knowing she went on the Flash as a regular, yeah?
Yep.
And that means that they're going to have to rewrite the season, yes?
Yep.
Well, half of it anyway, because she's only been like 13 episodes or something. Which means she's probably going to be heavily in the second half. And what seems to have changed? The second half. After Andrew Kreisberg was gone, they had to rewrite it because of Jessica Camacho. I hope I pronounced that name right.
My response to that would be that
that's why I think her doing that wrecked kind of wrecked the season in a sense because they had to rewrite it after Andrew Kreisberg was gone, and he seems to be the one that was doing the most of the thinking and that.
My response to that is that for all we knew that Kreisberg was, obviously if you get suspended, it means you're not allowed to go into work. So he'd have had notes and everything, and he'd have known what was going on. You're not really allowed to talk to anyone when you're suspended either. So we don't know how long any kind of investigation was going on.
I think that's him maliciously complying. He could have said, for Flash Season 4, do not lose, send them to him. Because if it's important for the season, then that means if he doesn't send him, he's like being he's basically neglecting it. It's committing negligence. However you say it, negligent. Yeah, that's it.
My response to the whole Gypsy actress series regular thing is, same as I said before. It's another character you've got to try and force a story arc upon to validate her presence there. And from what we saw in some episodes, like, what fucking episode was it? 19?
What, that she was in it?
19, 20?
20, therefore she is.
Yeah, that one. The one where they finally revealed what DeVoe's quote-unquote plan was, and I'll get to my thoughts on that in a minute.
Yeah.
Is, you already get a very good sense of what's really going on. She doesn't really have a place for part of a regular, even if she was originally meant to be one. She wouldn't really have had a story arc that would be workable. So I think in a way, I'm glad she did what she did, because it's one less character they had to write for, but ultimately when you consider things, it's not really very good if you keep slowly wrecking things, which it was already deteriorating anyway. And you see that in episode 9, the quality was really starting to drop a fair bit. And I went and looked at the review scores and stuff for the season of The Flash. And you could tell from the scores fans were giving the first episode of the season that they weren't expecting it to be a masterpiece and stuff. It only really picked up, I think, after episode 7, where it scored a bit higher. Until then, you're averaging maybe a 7 or just above. So I think the season was doomed from the start.
And I could see it right from the start.
Oh, that's a good callback reference.
A piece of crap.
No, but it is very clear though that this is something that is going on for a reason, good or bad, and
Yeah.
The season in its own way has always been letting itself down. It's not really reached the full potential, and partially, again, it's due to the limitations they've set up for themselves. But you also have to look at other things like, well, they've got too many characters to write for, so therefore that's going to cause a very noticeable drop in quality. Some characters I think you do need to get rid of, and a lot of them have had very repetitive story arcs from what we've seen in the past as well.
Yeah. Well, one part I did like that one is that they haven't repeated it from the past, have they? They're not actually explaining where, like, well, they're starting to get to the part, but they can explain where Killer Frost comes from.
Don't get me started on that, because that really fucking annoys me.
I'll
I'll get to that in a minute. This is just the main plot I'm focusing on right now. Let's discuss side plots in a bit.
Oh, by the way, after this, how long do you reckon this will last for, by the way?
What, the podcast?
Yeah.
A couple of hours.
A couple of hours?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Why?
Well, it's 7 to 2 right now, and I was planning on getting, like, the free bus. So.
Okay, well, there's going to be a couple of hours.
Well, in 2 hours we've gone past bus time, so.
Yeah, no, like, regardless of what you think about it, it's all very clear that the main quote-unquote story for this season feels like a very half it's just done with, like, only half the effort kind of side plot. Like, it's not really something that they wanted to write for. So if that's the case, why didn't you say, we're not happy with the way this is going, can we scrap the whole season, can we rewrite it, and can we reshoot things that we need to reshoot?
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure that if the network had been told about that, they'd be like, you know what, yep, we'd rather you did quality over quantity, go ahead and do what you need.
Yeah.
Because the whole season feels very lackluster in terms of effort. There's nothing really compelling about anything that's going on. I do want to touch on the performances of some certain actors and actresses and stuff, though.
Oh, yeah.
The two best characters of the season, I would put down to Caitlin Snow and Ralph Dibny.
Ralph!
Straight up. They've had the most interesting story arcs and probably the best writing among this shitstorm of a season.
Everyone thought that when Ralph and Caitlin were going to get together.
No, I don't remember that because
Oh, okay.
I don't think you ever told me you had that theory.
No, I don't know. I said people thought that. I didn't say I did. Would have been nice, but meh. Would not have been good. She kisses him. Oh crap! Well, he's basically made out of rubber. He'd fucking snap. Rubber freezes. It fucking snaps, isn't it? He's screwed. In more ways than one, am I right? Wink, wink.
Lovely, Dylan. Nah, but those are the two best characters of the season, I think. They've had the best writing to work with, and you know, it's clearly now it's a lot more. You know, it's much more worthwhile now. Now that I think, you know, Ralph is gone. Well, he probably will come back. To be honest, let's be fair.
1 minute. It's acting up a bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, that just the internet's acting up a bit. That's all. There we go. But yeah,
Nah, like it is very done. It is very half-assedly done, and it is very lackluster because you know that it is going to be instantly, and I don't think anyone really has motivation to watch the season. If people are watching it at this point, which I still am, but I'm just skipping the majority of it because I fucking despise this season now. You're clearly not happy about that.
Stop skipping parts. You're making a game. Stop skipping parts, boy.
Do you really blame me if I'm skipping parts episode 22 of a season when it's not been that good and it's had
No.
such shit writing.
I don't condone any skipping.
But no, like, overall, I think the reason people will still be watching now is because they want to see whether they'll miss anything important for season 5, which we'll get to also in a bit. But the characters, you can tell. Grant, you can see in Grant's eyes, he is very frustrated. He doesn't really seem passionate about the performance. He's not happy with the scripts he's had to work with. Here's another question for you. Where the fuck has Joe been this season? Like, what happened to the really badass cop dad that he is in terms of helping this team?
What happened? One, he's got baby on the way in universe, of course. In real life, he probably wanted a break. And you want the awesome cop day? He defeated the fucking Samuroid.
That brought up a lot of plot holes and questions on IMDb reviews.
Yeah, but you need to see when you got a guy who can run faster than sound. You need to suspend belief every once in a while. Even with a flash game, you can't be faster than them all the time, can you? You've got to bring ways that you can be slower and stuff. I don't know. It's DeVoe. It was DeVoe controlling the Samuroid. Probably has something that was dampening their speed.
Regards to the whole skipping thing.
Oh, and when Bad got up to speed, well, he literally demolished it. He demolished. He literally come bursting out. Whereas Wally, he wasn't the Speed Force. He was just normal, and he looked slower. So I bet speed was getting dampened.
Here's the thing in regards to the whole skipping scenes. If you can't keep fans interested for the majority of an episode or a season, there really shouldn't be any surprise among other fans or anyone else that people are going to start skipping ahead or just skip the majority of the episode if they don't feel like they're missing anything important. A lot of it feels like really just carbon copied or half-assed writing of it's the same every episode. They'll try coming up with a plan to defeat DeVoe, he'll get one over on them, and it'll be just boring. That said, to the credit of episode 22 of one of the bits I watched, Neil Sunderland's had a very good scene where Barry's just destroyed a fucking satyr. Like with, I don't know why fucking Amunet only gave him one bomb, but there we go.
No, I shouldn't tie tornado with the stuff. Oh, one idiot. But I know what scene you're talking about. 1 second.
Yeah, the one where he's just like, I want people to fucking get rid of technology, and you're just like, is this the guy's motivation? Are you serious? That doesn't make him a villain. It makes him an old man who's just grumpy that modern day technology exists. But then you need to ask the question, right? If this guy hated modern day technology so much, why the fuck is he using it to help him with his goals? Legitimate question. Why is this guy using it to help him with his goals and everything? Because, like, you know, if he's just a guy who is literally hating on technology for no reason, then he's clearly a character who either isn't written well, or he's just boring and not really meant to be interesting in any way. Like,
There we go. Finally, I just had to connect.
But like, how is this guy considered a villain when you find out that his literal only reason for doing this is because he hates technology? That doesn't really make him a villain. It just makes him a grumpy old man.
Yes, well, a bit more than grumpy old man. A man that's grumpy about people becoming dumber anyway. And he wants to make them dumb, yeah. just so he can heighten their own intelligence afterwards in his own way.
You don't do that by launching fucking satellites into space just so people, and I quote, finally put down their phones and become curious again. Fuck off with that kind of character. fuck off with that kind of character, okay? I am sick and tired of having these characters with such zero laid out motivations. You had Zoom in Season 2. His motivations weren't clear, but at least, like, he did stuff to actually impact Barry. None of this impacts anyone. Harry Wells, for fuck's sakes, has a very repetitive story arc where he's this arrogant prick like he has been in Season 2. And he finally gets past it in Season 3, and then here we are again. Okay? And then now look at fucking DeVoe, the guy who we are led to believe really hurts Barry in this way through the final episodes of Season 3. Hey, Episode 18, Episode 23, where Abracadabra and Savitar say, oh no, he's a very clear and big threat. He hurts Barry a lot, but not as much as Savitar did in the timeline that you're still currently living in, okay? He is a fucking old man who hates technology, and that is his only motivation for his big bad activities that really hurt Barry. None of it really seems legitimate. And this is the kind of writing we put up with all season, and this is why I have honestly given up with it, and why I have started skipping the majority of episodes. If I skip the finale tomorrow night, do not be surprised.
Don't you fucking dare.
No, I'm serious. If I skip the finale tonight, because of how lackluster and how fucking awful this season has been, do not be surprised. I'm getting sick of having villains and shit with things like this. If you wanted a better antagonist for the season or a better villain, you could have used fucking Amunet Black and she would have seemed more worthy in the place of a big bad than any other character we've had. Everything this season has been so lackluster, so boring, and so uninspired and tiring, and so without passion from the actors or the writers or even anyone that are people even surprised that fans are frustrated? I saw a review on IMDb. I took a screenshot and sent it to you, right? You remember this. Okay? Yep?
Yep.
Yep, right. And it simply asked the simple question, are we done yet? Okay? And I fucking wish we were. Just purely so I can stop ranting about it, because clearly, right, the fans are the reason this is happening. Portions of fans are the reason we are having such shit seasons come across the Arrowverse, because the writers can't grow a pair and say, no, let us tell the story we want to tell and we're sure you'll be happy with it. No, it's all about the fucking fans. That is the reason we still have fucking Iris here. What the fuck is she offering? What the fuck is she offering to this season?
Kanan, do you know the full story about that?
You've told me the fucking full story already. The fucking marketing people are saying, actually, no, if you do this, fuck off, marketing team. You're not the ones who are meant to be saying to the writers what they can and can't do with the story.
They had users, they literally had viewers saying that they're going to drop the show if Iris gets killed.
Fuck off! Stop letting the viewer pressure get to you. If you're letting the viewer pressure get to you, right?
Less viewers, less money. Less money, less budget.
Think of how
less
much
budget, less show.
I'd have happily taken Season 3 as the final season if it meant Iris was killed off, because she no longer has any relevant reason to be here. And I really fucking hope that she is the death in the finale, because she is offering nothing to this season of The Flash. She offers nothing to the show in terms of relevance to the plot.
By the way, if they do kill her, it won't be permanent. In the comics, she gets killed and she turns out her mind...
I don't care if it's permanent or not. If it means you have to kill her off temporarily, then fucking do that. Have her brought back with a better character and something more interesting that make the fans actually say, yeah, she's worthy of being here now. It doesn't mean that we should have these fucking arcs where we have a character who is here doing fucking nothing apart from clinging to the main character and manipulating him just because he's in love with her. The entire season, and the fucking side plots this season as well. Are you seriously telling me that these wouldn't have suited better as the fucking main story for the season itself? And you look at the fucking villain we have. Amunet Black would have been a much better main villain for this season than DeVoe was. She does stuff that's threatening. Okay? She can manipulate people into working for her the same way she did Caitlin, but you then realise, actually no, she's not so much a criminal. She's more of an anti-villain. He's someone who has felt used and abused in the past, and fine, I get that. I don't... sure, it's one of the more typical backstories you get, but it's something that gives her character motivation and stuff to care about. Where is the motivation for DeVoe? His is literally being a grumpy old man who hates technology. Any questions?
Okay, well, not really a question, but it's a statement. Keep recording, people. We'll be back in about 5 seconds.
But seriously, like, you only have to look at the way the season has gone so downhill, right? You only have to look at that.
Kanan. How about we introduce a new person before continuing on your little rant?
Fine.
Okay, people, this is the other Savitar in my game.
Alright.
Seriously, right? The characters this season, none of them are acted passionately. None of them have any motivation. And fucking Iris, okay? I'm sick of the character. She doesn't offer anything. She's not offering anything to the main plot. At least in season 1, she had a bit of a reason to be there. She was a fucking journalist! Season 2, the first half, she's decent. By the second half of season 2, it's only the cringy romantic stuff I'm skipping, and maybe in the first couple of episodes of season 3.
Romantic? Excuse me, they didn't start dating in season 3.
By then, by the rest of season 3, the character has fucking lost all kind of independence that she has in the comics, right? And that is fucking disgraceful, because if she hadn't lost all of that, she might still have a decent kind of character arc through different seasons. We were told at the beginning of this season, there was a news article saying she was going to have a rivalry with Cecile. Where the fuck has that been? If it was in the fucking Trial of the Flash episode, that wasn't rivalry. That was just her being a bitch as always, and he thinks she's worthy enough to be the team leader of this fucking Flash team. No! It's called Team Flash!
Good enough to be the team leader.
It's called Team Flash, not Team Iris. The show's not called The Iris. You guys need to fucking grow a pair and stop putting her in the centre stage of every fucking event.
No, she don't want the stuff going field. Joe's cop, Harry's scientist who's not dumb. Barry's the motherfucking Flash. Cisco's fucking Vibe, and he's also the technology guy, and so has to go out and field a lot. Kate had to go out and field a lot, and was a medical doctor. I was the only one that was useless enough to be the team leader.
I don't give a shit, okay? She's useless because she's useless. She feels that way because it's true. The character is useless and has no reason to be in this fucking show. She's one of the main drawbacks of season 4 because she has no real relevancy to any kind of plot. She has no real side plot that's worth the while of having her in there. She offers nothing to the main plot, and half the stuff we get told about her is fucking lies in terms of the supposed rivalry she was meant to have with Cecile through season 4. You don't see any fucking evidence of that. All you see evidence of is the fact that people are more and more infuriated with this character every fucking week.
What the hell have I stumbled across?
I don't know, Triz, I don't know.
And you're telling me that this is a decent Flash season?
I never said it was decent.
You've been saying it was decent all the way up until this podcast, mate.
Up until episode 17, yes. After that, I started agreeing with you slowly, you remember?
You only really agreed with me after episode 20 aired, and that was the most fucking disgraceful piece of shit we have had put out this season.
Hey, I told you I was salty about that. Before that, I said, oh, it is getting a little bit down, like you said. It is a little bit. This, and I was like, I wasn't happy.
Do we need to even... Must we even forget the point where Iris is bitter out about, oh, she stabbed me with a katana. You fucking stabbed yourself, you useless bitch! You fucking stabbed yourself! And you think you're worthy of trying to manipulate the audience into sympathy! You're not a character! You're a fucking useless thing the writers come up with just so you have this excuse to be on the show because, oh, look at me, I'm Candice Patton, I've got a fucking contract. I'm meant to live by that, so you'll manipulate the writers. I wouldn't be surprised if she fucking slept with them just so she could have another fucking season on this show.
Oh my god.
Okay, Triz, I was muted Kanan for a second. Sorry, Kanan. Jesus Christ. Like I said, nothing can stop his rant. And I'm mute.
I'm serious, right? I wouldn't be surprised if she was sleeping with the fucking producers and stuff, just to guarantee her future on the show.
What, Candice?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I'm serious, because the fact that she is so forced in and she offers nothing to any kind of plot, right? I wouldn't be surprised if she were pulling, allegedly, a Christian Stewart, where she apparently slept with a director or something to get a role in the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if she pulled something like that. at the end of every season.
Well. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't put in something, she'd be putting something else. Am I right?
My point in case being that if she...
Oh,
I'm honestly not surprised if that is her way of keeping on the show. Because clearly they wanted to get rid of her.
No,
I don't
it's
care.
marketing.
You need to stop letting fan pressure get to you. No, there's no
the-
excuse for it anymore. You need to stop letting fan pressure get to you because there's no reason for her to be on this show. There's nothing to keep her there.
What we've got to remember is if people start dropping the show because they kill Iris, that means the show will die.
I never said it had to be permanent. Maybe it's just for a season and you bring her back in the finale of it and then you have something that, I don't know, maybe she went to the Speed Force and something happened and then the character is actually worth having in the plot again.
People didn't say people didn't say they'd drop at the end of the season, they said they'd drop immediately. Some people dropped when they killed off Iris, but it was actually HR. Some people didn't watch the next episode because of that and they're still not watching it.
That's not the point. Writers have to stop letting fan pressure get to them.
The thing is though, if they don't, then they stop getting viewers, and then the show's over way before it's meant to end.
I don't care when it's meant to end. You're seriously telling me it's worthy of season 5 after the shitstorm we've had of this season?
Okay, look at Arrow. You think that shit was worth season 5? No.
That was worth season 5 because it held up a stable narrative and characters actually mattered. Okay, fucking Felicity matters as more no matter what season she's in because she actually does shit to contribute to the team. They give her a story arc that isn't just clinging to the main character and trying to manipulate him as a love interest. That's all Iris does. If she actually did stuff as a fucking journalist job and they made it more worthwhile as opposed to just having her cling to Barry, then sure, maybe I'd say, yeah, okay, it's not been the best, but at least they've tried taking her in a new direction. How much fucking longer do we have to sit here looking at the screen and say, why is she still here? Why do we need her? I don't care how relevant she is in a Flash storyline or how relevant she is in comics. In comics, she is written decently. In this, she is written as pure fucking trash.
Would it be long enough if that's how it is? No. But no, honestly, I don't really get all the hate. I've not liked her twice in the entire show. Season 2, that was a piece of glass going to her shoulder. The way she acted, it was like Savitar was stabbing her. But no, it was a piece of glass going to her shoulder, and she acted like it was the end of the world.
Okay, right.
The dramatic music, the fallback.
Okay. Let me explain to you why people hate Iris and stuff. Like even if it's not immediate, right? Okay, the reason people are so against Iris now is because they've taken away every bit of individuality her character has. And the fact that I've gone on a rant about this shows how clearly fed up I am, because you see it episode after episode, week after week, season after season. And it doesn't really show any signs of improvement. They take away all the individuality her character has and slowly makes her less and less useful to any kind of plot. Now, a lot of it also comes down to a lot of inconsistencies with her character as well. You only need to look at Enter Flash Time where she somehow is smart enough to come up with the solution that Barry, a scientist, can't do, and he's able to and think faster. And then you look at episode 16, she doesn't know how to run out of fucking buildings.
Can you shush for a minute. You shush for a minute. That's what people say about how, I was coming with a solution. I was like, no, she didn't. She basically did.
It's not like it was a simple jog of Barry's memory, right? So other examples are the way she acts in season 3 about him trying to save her.
I'm getting the transcript up right now, Kanan.
Okay, while you get the transcript up, let me point you back to season 3 then. And even you've agreed that she didn't really have a very good character in the second half of that season after they learned she was going to die, right? The way she acts towards Barry trying to save her isn't something that a girlfriend would say to a boyfriend and then later fiancé. Okay? That is not how someone acts. They at least try and be grateful about it, and they encourage them, keep going, you can do this. Nothing really about Iris screams encouraging or worthy of
Okay,
any kind
I've got
of care or
it.
sympathy. And the thing with the writers is that they write her in a way that they expect the audience to feel sympathetic. There's such a clear divide of fans, but the majority of them hate Iris because she is literally getting carbon copy arcs that are the same every season, just with a few minor changes to fit the story of that season.
Okay, I got it up. Okay, Barry said, when she said, there's got to be a way. There's got to be something you can do, Barry. He replied saying, no, listen, I tried. We tried everything. We tried lightning. We tried calling it down, breaching it to a dead earth, but there's nothing that will work. I don't know what to do. And then he said, you're my lightning rod, Iris. And she looked a bit weird and she's like, what? And you said you tried to use lightning. How? He said if it was powerful enough, it could have fused the split atoms. He's given her knowledge. So he said that they tried to use lightning. He then said it wasn't powerful enough. And they didn't get enough. If it was powerful enough, it would have stopped it. And the entire through all the seasons, they've known about the Speed Force. Season 2, she went into the Speed Force. She knows its energy. And he said that he can't generate it. Well, technically generating Speed Force now, but they didn't know about that at the time. He got to do it by himself, really. He can only get all the Speed Force that's pent up energy, really. And she said only the Speed Force can. And all she's doing is stuff that she's seen herself. When we went into the Speed Force, the lightning from the storm.
Does that really explain, though, when she's the solution to other things? And yet, you look at episode 16 of this season, it's a very key example. And I know
She's really important, and then the second she's put into she's made important, you hate it.
No, hang on. Does that excuse the fact that, though, people bring this up, that she's able to come up with that and she's smart enough to think of that just when things seem to be lost? But then you look at the fact that she's too fucking stupid to run out of a building when it's on fire. Okay? Better to let a building burn than to risk your life and slowly burn away. And, it's a lot of inconsistencies with her character. She has no real use to being here. And you really get that so many times because it's such a pointless character to have. She's literally forced in because I go back to the theory, she's clearly sleeping with someone to guarantee her future on the show, because she doesn't really have any reason to be there. If they turned around and killed her off, even temporarily, for half of next season, or the majority of next season, and then they brought her back with a better arc, I'll be perfectly fine with that. Just stop having her cling to Barry, let her do something else. I go back to episode 22 of last season, okay? And the reason the acting was so good there, guess what it was?
What?
She wasn't having to cling to fucking Barry. She was given something else.
Wait, when was that?
Episode 22 of season 3.
Oh.
She wasn't having to cling to Barry. She was able to act with more emotion as opposed to someone who's just literally got such an obvious resting bitch face. She's not a fucking actress. She's someone just there sleeping with people so she can have her 15 minutes of fame.
Oh, fuck off. The reason you're so on that is probably because you would do that.
I wouldn't do that. I would demand if I were in a show like The Flash, which is clearly so well respected, and I were a series regular, I would demand I get a good arc so the fans don't start hating me. She's not doing that. She allegedly tried, but clearly if this is what she considers better writing, then fuck off is it any good. Fuck off if she clearly gives a damn about what the fans think. And, fine, Joe's having a kid, doesn't mean he can't contribute to the rest of the season. He'd have more stuff to contribute than anyone than Iris would. You could have literally given them you could have given Joe such a different arc than what he's had this season. But unfortunately, oh look, Candace has probably slept with someone else, guaranteeing another year as a series regular. The fans will get pissed off as always, and then we'll probably want to go, and then those of us who are over 18 or 21 or whatever fucking age, wherever you live, probably go down the pub, get pissed, and hopefully he'd get hungover so we don't have to remember anything to do with her.
Jesus. I feel so bad for Triz, because he's coming to this podcast to say his view, and you've just been talking for the last 10, 15 minutes.
I feel bad for him as well because you brought him in while I was midway through the rant. You probably should have waited until I was done.
Oh God knows who knows. Even God knows when you just stopped it. So better brought him in like while we're still online and everything. So
I hope you're paying him a lot for this.
Anyway, so now that Kanan's finally shut his big mouth, we can finally introduce Trizitel. Trizitel, who is the voice actor of Savitar in comic Savitar in my Fangame.
Hey guys, that's what I am. I have no script for this, or I didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah, we literally these podcasts it's unscripted. We literally we don't script nothing. Everything is stuff we think up in the moment, isn't it, Kanan?
Yep, it is.
Approximately 16 minutes ago, I have not heard about this, so they just randomly
You come in, you're brought into a call, and you hear a guy just ranting about how shit he thinks this season has been and how shit certain characters are.
Yep, pretty much.
You probably should have given him a bit of warning that there's a guy doing a massive rant right now. Can you stay online and I'll bring you in when he's done?
Like I said, God knows when that happened.
I don't think it would have been too long, actually. But what's his views on season 4?
I think he's scared to say anything because of you, Kanan.
I'm not trying to scare anyone.
In case he triggers you.
No, I'll let him speak and then I'll try and respond calmly and rationally unless I hear a colossal amount of bullshit.
Wait, what was your question? I couldn't hear.
What are your views on like season 4 of The Flash?
Oh, I haven't watched it. Season 3 put me off.
Oh no! Oh no!
If you want my advice, watch the first 7 episodes. Watch episode 15, then just don't watch it. Watch the crossover, and you don't need to see anything else in the season.
I think what I said was a bigger rip than anything. Sorry, what was your name again?
Kanan.
Angry. Yeah, Kanan. Because I did not watch it. He had to.
So you did like season 3?
Yeah, I finished that Savitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, done with that. But I've watched the first few episodes of, I think it was the first episode of season 4, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
To be fair though, like I told you before you brought in Triz and before I went on the rant, like the review scores from the fans on IMDb sort of speak volumes about this because the majority of them are really about a 6 or a 7, and it's not something you would really expect to have as the premiere episode of a show this respected, even if it is like following a certain pattern of another show. So then you really need to try and make an effort to try and avoid falling into the same trap, really.
Yep.
Dylan's just off, like, crying because you hated season 3. Dylan.
Yeah?
Stop crying because he didn't like season 3. Cry later. Let's continue the podcast.
No, what I said was that season 3 put me off. But season 4 really did make me stop watching.
Season 4, like, I think it's enough to make anyone stop watching. I'm considering stopping watching. The only reason I'm still watching is because I'll probably end up watching season 5 anyway. Because if I don't, and we still do these podcasts, Dylan will murder me.
The fact that you managed to go through that entire season means that you liked it. The fact that season 4 episode 1 stopped me from watching the rest.
Season 4, in my opinion, was decent for the first sort of 7 episodes. You then had the crossover, which is obviously really good. And then you've got episode 15, which is probably the best episode of the season. And what you really need to wonder is, like, if they're able to do some certain episodes well, why have they not tried to do the rest or improve the quality of the rest? Even if And let's face it, I don't think in the story they said that, oh, on the 20th episode, DeVoe reveals his plan. You should have had that happen sooner. But
Meh.
I mean, I don't really have an opinion for it. The first episode.
In my opinion, you're missing out. I mean, there was. Speaking of season episode 1, there was a part I did not like in the episode actually.
yeah, what was that?
Well, Barry joked about how Iris was going to die, yeah,
Yep,
and then of course he busts out of the pipeline, yeah, goes after her.
yep.
Why does he go to the building room, like the workshop, to grab his new suit? Like, shouldn't he just go straight to the cortex and pick out, get into his old suit, and storm out? Because you could say about his whole life and stuff like that. Except in that case, like they had to reveal the suit in the second episode, like so to speak. Two, like it's like, oh, your new suit. It's like it would have been worked a lot better if they did properly introduce it in the second episode. Because they'd probably say, oh, that's all well and good, but I've seen this suit before. I've even ran in it. It's like there's been so much better if they introduced it in that episode.
The thing with
Like with season 2, the first episode he had his old suit, like emblems actually, and then in the second episode he had his new emblem, which was white because Cisco finished making it at the end of the episode. So he could just do something like that with his suit.
the thing I really want to get back to is the fact that why is Iris the thing that has to put Barry on this whatever he's doing? Because, like, I don't give a damn about, like, this whole lightning rod thing. To me, that seems somewhat irrelevant. It's just a nod to the comics by having it be said. It's not going to be explored. Nothing with Iris really ever is. She's just literally there for the sake of fan service at this point. Like, Triz, you've seen season 3. What did you think of Iris? Be honest. Swearing's allowed.
She was becoming more like Felicity, and Felicity was the reason why never touching Arrow again. The only time I was forced to watch Arrow was because of that crossover episode, and that episode wasn't really as good.
I look at certain arcs that a character like Felicity has, and yeah, it's she's not always going to have the best of it because, like, they never really intended her to be the love interest for Oliver in the show.
Well, they made Black Canary more interesting.
Yeah. If you were to watch season 6 of Arrow, which I strongly encourage you to do, you'll see that Felicity has a fairly good arc in it. She's not one of those characters who's going to cling to another. And people go on about having strong female characters and everything.
Okay.
Felicity, although not always seeming like that, is one of those characters. And you see that in season 6 because she has arcs with Oliver. They're decent. She's not really so bad. I've not really found myself skipping as many scenes with her in unless it's just really a drawn-out scene, which we don't really need to have too much of. Whereas in Season 5, the second half of it anyway, there was a lot to be skipped, but that's because they gave her the wrong kind of story arc.
Okay.
So Season 4, she had a very good arc, because she sort of became the Oracle of the Universe for a while.
Yep.
Season 5, first half was just like, okay, like, it's not really something we need, but it's tolerable. Second half of Season 5, up until episode 20, I think, you don't really need anything to do with her until you realise, actually, no, this is where she's picking up again. And Season 6, she has a good character arc all season, so it seems like they finally set in a direction where that they've given her a kind of very decent story arc, but they never really made her fall as far as Iris has, as people have hated her 100% for so long. Because people have hated Iris 100% for about 2.5, maybe 3 seasons, depending on who you talk to.
Okay.
Dylan's just there cursing my name. So Dylan, would you like to discuss the side plots of the fucking season?
So how are you going to destroy my happiness this time?
I'm going to start with the Killer Frost flashback.
That was good. Okay, that is actually continuing a story plot from Arrow, which they never explored in Flash. You know how Retribution, the voice acting page, yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know how Captain Cole at one point says he owed me money. Is one of the lines.
Yep.
Well, in season 1, Rogue Air, episode 22, Captain Cole says that line, of course, and
Yep.
he killed a guy called Jake Simmons, Deathbolt, who could shoot lasers out of his eyes. That guy had powers, if I remember correctly, before the particle accelerator went off.
The thing with the whole I'm not saying I'm not happy with it from an Easter egg or comics perspective, and I'll get to what I think that's a nice little thing to have in there in a second. The reason I'm not happy that they're doing it now is that it's the 22nd episode of the 4th season, and they're now trying to add in another side plot. It's too late to do that.
Not really. They can set out one little bit for the next season, because they said that Killer Frost wouldn't touch as much in the season after she's gone, and she's barely touched. Like, we learned that she's had Killer Frost since a kid, which means next season they can start exploring that more. Because everyone's always said, they forgot about those people that had powers before the park was away. Oh, they weren't in thing at the time, essentially at the time.
Yeah, but then you need to ask, is it really worth having, because we need to have this side plot, because you know they're going to have a fair few come up in season 5 anyway, when it gets started. Is another sort of thing that they're putting in, and it's a comics Easter egg really to Crystal Frost, who was the first person to have the mantle of Killer Frost. I only know a history of the Suicide Squad Hell to Pay movie, which was...
Oh, so the most recent one? Ugh. 1 minute. Crystal Frost, you say? Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, she first appeared with Firestorm. That's cool. Oh dear. Okay, Crystal Frost was a student at Hudson University. She fell in love with one of her professors, Martin Stein.
Oh wow.
Stein, however, rejected Frost's affections. Crystal was devastated and had low self-esteem and eventually developed into a hatred of all men. Fuck's sake, Martin. GG.
Even if it's not a nod to the comics, because it's more of a nod to the Suicide Squad Hell to Pay movie, I think. And the thing we've got here is that it's a nod to that in the way of her powers manifested sort of in her teens, like maybe 13, 14, 15 at a push.
It's actually not.
Her parents weren't very good parents. I'll leave it at that.
But Kanan, her having powers since she's younger isn't a nod to Suicide Squad.
No, I'm just saying it's a nice little. It's not an intentional one, but it's a nice little nod to what they set up for the Killer Frost in that film as her backstory.
Oh no! What I mean is that the Killer Frost in Suicide Squad isn't Caitlyn anyway, and in the comics, I'm pretty sure every single one of the Killer Frosts never got the powers through a different way. They all got it naturally. Or they never had some altering thing like dark matter thing. Oh shit! 1 minute, my phone just fell. Fucking chair.
Typical Dylan. But like it's very sort of like late to try adding this in. If you added this in maybe sort of around, I don't know, later on. I'm not earlier on, sorry. Or if you just waited until season 5. That probably would have been a much better idea than forcing her through this character arc. forcing another side plot, even the beginnings of what is, as one of the final scenes in the 22nd episode, is very late to do that, even if it's just
Not
to set
really.
one up. So what you
No.
really should have done is you should have waited until season 5 or done it earlier.
It's not like season 3, episode 18. You and I, we've been enemies for years. You've had others, of course. Savitar, Zoom, Thorn. No, Zoom, Thorn, DeVoe. Season 3, episode 23. Literally the very last episode of the season. And they set up plot lines for next season. This is where we come up with the cerebral inhibitor to use against DeVoe.
Then you realise how lackluster that was. But then I think with that,
Thing is though, he said to use against DeVoe, not to defeat DeVoe.
yeah, I know, and there is that, and I'll admit to that as well. But that doesn't really mean it makes it right in any season. It really just should have been waited for. I think it's another way to show off that Savitar's from the future, and he clearly has these memories, and stuff. And fair enough. Oh, by the way, is the Triz guy still going to be able to contribute to the podcast or not really?
Yeah, well, you talk over it. Maybe you talk less and let him speak more, he'll be able to.
Well, he's not watched season 4, has he? So how's he going to contribute?
Yeah.
You can give opinions of what we say.
I'm just gonna nod occasionally. You don't see what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm nodding.
yeah.
Maybe if you turned on the webcam.
There we go. We all just turn on our webcams all of a sudden.
I don't have webcam on my computer.
Fuck's sake, of course you don't.
It's very stupid to introduce a side plot of much more significance, because the cerebral inhibitor one, I think we knew wasn't really going to be that important from the way from the way Savitar said it wasn't going to be the most important thing. It doesn't make it right that they introduced it, but it's a bit more sort of forgiving when you look back on things. Right, do you want to know how else I'm going to ruin your happiness?
How?
We're going to talk about Ralph now.
No!
We're going to talk about his arc through the season.
Oh, wow.
I miss him too.
Okay. Just imagine me patting you in the back. There you go.
Do you want to discuss Ralph's first, and then I'll give my opinions?
Well, you can.
Oh yeah, that's where it picked up actually. The first 3 episodes had around to 7, and then I think Elongated Journey into the Night had fucking like 8 or 9. So basically, his introduction episode.
Elongated Journey into the Night was episode 4.
Yeah, so episode 4, and then it just went downhill again to like an episode to like 5 to 7 stars.
Huh?
But yeah, Dylan, I'll let you begin this one.
Oh, I don't want to say. I mean, he had an interesting introduction. Oh, for fuck's sake! 1 minute.
Huh.
Welcome to the podcast, Triz.
Yeah, thanks.
I think you regret your decision to come here.
Boy.
Nah, this is fun.
Well, hearing an angry guy ranting a lot and then having Dylan be as incompetent as he always is.
Yeah.
Oh, F you.
It's like the good, the bad, and the silent over here.
Who's the good and who's the bad?
I'm good, you're bad. I'm good.
I was asking Triz, not you.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm the good one. Do you know why? My name. And also, I'm the one that leads this, I could kick you up if I wanted to. Remove from group.
Oh, not the good, the bad, and the silent. The good, the mad, and the silent.
There we go! or, wait, so if I'm good, then it's good, the mad, and the silent. And if Kanan's good, then it's good, the sad, and the silent.
Oh, yeah. I'm just
There we go.
So technically we're both good, but I'm more good. Yeah, what's your opinions on Ralph's arc?
Wait,
Well,
me?
you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, Dylan, what are your thoughts on like Ralph's arc this season then?
I liked it. I mean, he went back. He did slip back a few times, but he wasn't an ordinary person really. That thrust into the middle of like, well, now we know what his plan is. A world domination plan. He was an ordinary man thrust into the middle of it. So yeah.
I think he's really at his best in episode 10 where he's saying to Joe,
Wait. I know what that is. That's the Trial of Flash one, but okay, click, click.
because you only really need to look at like the way Hartley Sawyer acted in that scene, and you're just like, yeah, this is the best he's gonna be at this season.
Found it. Okay. What we said.
Yeah, it's the one where Joe was gonna plant the carbon fiber.
Those are from Alan's Loft, aren't they? You're gonna plant out evidence in front of Marlies. It's a solid joke. It's a solid plan, Joe. Subtle, but it's crafty with a touch of pathos. After this, you're gonna sit back and kick up your feet and sleep as sound as a millennial after Burning Man because you did the right thing. You took down a bad chick, and you're gonna ride that feeling like it's Space Mountain. And then when they catch you and they take your badge and your gun, that self-righteous indignation is going to keep your chest puffed and your chin up because you did the right thing. Sure, you're going to be mad for a few years, but that fades. It evolves, turns into self-pity. A few more years and your life is going to be a shell of its former self. And then one night it's going to dawn on you that you did the wrong thing. It's going to ruin everything. Your colleagues won't talk to you. Your friends have vanished, and your family. It will be like you were never born. Because you turned to the very thing that you swore to protect them from. Because you turned to the very thing you swore to destroy.
There's a very obvious Star Wars reference in there, which very good touch of the writing. And two, we both said this when you and I reviewed episode 10 when it came out, sort of. When it wasn't really at its best, but it wasn't at its worst. It's really the sum up of the prisoner arc we had this season, which I'll get to for the side plots in a sec, because I've got an interesting review for that. Because you know Ralph is talking off of his own experience, so he clearly knows what he's saying, and like I think that is really going to be one of the things that really sways Joe, and it's one of the last times we see Joe in a very important scene this season, and it's sad really because Jesse L. Martin really brings a lot to the table of the acting stuff. He has very good chemistry with Grant and the other actors, and I think the chemistry he has with Hartley Sawyer there really he helps to sum it all up perfectly.
Yeah.
So I think that it's quite clear that is the best that Ralph will be at through the season. He does catch on to what Joe is doing and why he's trying to get Barry out. It's farthly concerned. But then you do obviously realise that, well, this guy is this character. He wasn't really a good cop, and then here we are, and it's just a very big continuation of it all.
Hell, my mate, a mate that used to hate the Flash. I managed to
get him into it.
Yeah, and do you know how?
Showing him that scene.
No. The Savitar reveal and all that. That's what got him into it, which is fucking annoying because if he'd got into it, basically to get him into the Flash, I had to spoil a fucking plot for him. Yeah.
No, like it. I think because we
wait. Even he said at first he didn't like Ralph. Well, I don't think anyone liked Ralph at first, did they? They didn't like him. He was a scumbag.
I thought he was an alright character. I was just like, hang on, is this the kind of character we're going for here? Just sort of a bit taken aback by it, but then it's just like, actually, he's here for the comic relief. He's the better version of HR that we should have had last season.
No, don't you say that. Don't you take the good HR's name in vain.
No, but like he is better in the comic relief area than HR really, because the comedy he has is consistent and And he has a very understandable hatred of Barry at first, and then he's just like, actually, yeah, Barry was just doing his job. So what happened to me wasn't really his fault. And now he's helped me become a better person for it. I just really needed to give him time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the more interesting arcs you have with him as a character.
A line that I did like from it, it was like, you now have to hate the Flash.
Yeah, that was probably one of the funniest moments of the episode. It's just like, Alan, come on, man, I like the Flash. I liked the Flash. Now I gotta hate the Flash.
Yeah, it was good.
It was probably one of the sum-up moments of the entire episode, and while I sort of sat through the scenes where we first had Ralph introduced to us, just like, where are they going with this guy? I think by episode sort of 6 or 7, they really had him a lot more sort of firm in his resolve and stuff he was doing. And by episode 9, you're just like, yeah, okay, he's comic relief, but he's a hero. Let's just go with it. So he has very good arc throughout the season. I think it does start to deteriorate at a point though, because it does get to a certain part where, and I said this in the podcast where you and I discussed the plot holes. I felt bad for him because he then had to find a way to tie into the main plot, and that's where it was going to go downhill for his writing. And episode 17 was probably the proof part of that, where that is where it really went downhill for Ralph. He didn't really have much left in the kind of arc he was going for. Or really. And it's sad because I do think he'll come back next season. We'll do predictions on the next podcast. And, you know, like I said, it's sad, but like it's ultimately something we should just slowly become more and more used to now. There's not much more that we can say. Hey, it seems... It's repetitive and... I don't know what you've just seen.
What?
Triz, this is what I have to put up with every podcast, mate. Do you want to become my new co-host? You want to become a new co-host next podcast, Triz?
I'm back.
Dylan, be quiet. I'm asking Triz a question. Yeah, Triz, do you want to become my new podcast co-host after today's episode?
Oh, wow, screw it. Well, he can't do the TV show ones anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to become my new co-host, yeah?
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, Savitar, you're fired after this episode. You're fired after this episode.
Actually, half fired because TV episodes. Not really my stuff.
No, we can just remove the TV episodes.
Alright.
You're fired.
Okay, Donald.
You're fired after this episode.
Okay, Donald.
Wait, what's the podcast called?
Lightning's Retribution, a Flash Fangame podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rename the good, the mad, and the silent.
That'll probably be the subtitle for this episode, actually. Either that or Kanan rants about season 4. Prison arc.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think about the prison arc?
I like this.
Of what?
This TV show, remember? I liked it, honestly. It was good. It was good.
I think for me it represented one of the middle grounds in the show where it's not really at its best, but it's something you'll enjoy, but there won't be a need to go back and rewatch it. But it's also not the worst. So it is very kind of clear and obvious. Yes, that it's done for a nod to fans, but overall it's not really something we needed and maybe could have been saved for another season.
I guess.
Because it really represents the middle ground for the season, and then after that, like, the deterioration sort of plummets more and more per episode, apart from Enter Flash time. So, Which would you say was the best episode of that arc then? Dylan?
12. 12.
12.
Yeah. It was the midpoint of it. It had Big Sir's little like release. Derek Barry, he's stuck in a different country. I mean, yeah, he went to go there, but how do you know when he'd stay there forever? He's trapped in a foreign country, illegally migrated in. And he has no money, food, water, clothes. Very irresponsible.
My opinions are that I think, to me, the episodes for the prison arc just felt like going through the motions. There wasn't really anything that got me on the edge of my seat when I watched them. But I think the one that got me closest to that would have been episode 13, True Colors.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Like, up until the final scene, and I think one of the reasons why is it gives some of these characters a bit more character development. And that would be...
Wait, when you say the last scene, you're not talking about when
I'm talking about sort of when DeVoe comes in and sort of takes everyone, and after that, really. Because I think by that point, I found DeVoe to be this very lackluster person. He never really got me on the edge of my seat, nor did he ever really make a mark. The meme you sent me about him, about the other villains, sums it up entirely. Eobard Thorn, I killed your mother. Zoom, I killed your father. Savitar, I killed the person you love.
DeVoe, I will destroy your law enforcement career.
That's literally all he comes down to, really, is just a guy who, his motives don't make sense, and to be fair, like, I don't really have any enjoyment by watching him on the screen. I can't really say that there's anything there. I think Neil Sunderland's really got the short end of the stick after his appearance in episode 7, because a lot of it just it didn't really, it wasn't as appealing to me after that. It just, again, it felt like going through the motions, and it felt disappointing at the same time, because Neil Sunderland's had a lot of good times where he acted scenes really well. So after episode 7...
Props to him, he's good.
Yeah, props to him, but after episode 7 he really got the short end of the stick, really, and slowly I sort of became more and more bored with every kind of appearance of DeVoe as a character, and Neil Sunderland's coming back after Ralph shapeshifted into him, or DeVoe did that rather, was just like, oh, I feel bad for him now, because like they're going to give him such bad writing that he's got to try and work with. So I think like after episode 18, or anywhere regardless, again, he really had the short end of the stick. And I feel bad for Neil.
God, that moment though, when DeVoe was on face off against Barry right before Sign X came along, and just talked in Ralph's voice, like, right, rookie, which just of course threw Barry off, and that was I did not like that. That was just poking us with his stick. That was poking us with a fucking
again,
stick.
like Neil really had like the very short end of the stick in terms of coming back. I think what we should have had was Hartley Sawyer continuing to be able to use to see if he could fit well in a villainous character role. But I stand by the fact that like I haven't really found season 4 that good. Is a very basic review I can give of it. But I feel bad for some of the characters as well. Well, some of the cast as well. I feel bad for Neil and Hartley because they've had to deal with either subpar or bad writing. I feel bad for Grant because he's clearly irritated and annoyed, and you can see it in his eyes in the 18th episode. I think he's ready for it all to be done. I think he's just tired. He wanted filming to end by that point, just so he could go off, just have some time to get his anger out at how clearly subpar he felt the writing was. And you can tell just by looking in his eyes, like he's wanted this to end as well. And I don't think he's the only one who felt that way. But yeah, nah, it'll be a massive test to see if things improve.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on to the third point?
Yeah, 1 second.
Because I think we've spoken about this bit long enough.
Yeah, been about an hour now. Okay, what was the actual point? That's what, oh, for God's sake. Oh, all of it's something that Riz can't do, and I've got my bus. I've got to go get my bus in like a few minutes. Well, we're literally halfway through the episode right now, actually, and I could start recording when I go home. When I get caravan. No, when I go home.
Or you could just get a later bus.
Nah, screw that.
Yes, get a later bus.
Nah.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because I was on it. Accept when quest. Because I can just do.
Okay. Very, very funny. Nah, seriously, let's just finish this, because I don't want to spend too much longer. I think we've spent long enough. I'm infuriated. I just want to end the episode and go home.
I'll move to my phone. I'll move to my phone, alright?
Okay.
Look,
Point
I'll see you in a minute.
Point 3. Concerns for season 5.
Well, I don't have any. I actually don't have any. I don't have any. I don't have any concerns actually at the moment.
So
it's following the arrow. It's following the arrow formula.
I don't.
Season 5's gonna be better.
You gave me a rumor that we have another non-speedster villain next season.
Yes. Apparently the very last words of tonight's episode are they have like something about a lightning bolt dagger, good or bad. In the comics, there's a non-speedster villain called Cicada.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, who has a lightning bolt dagger. 1 second.
That instantly has a concern for me though, because it then implies that if the writers have that as a tease, I don't think they should have him as the main villain, because you know, here's the question: is he a metahuman, but he needs that to like stabilize his powers and balance them out? Because if he uses them with a altered, then he could do a lot of damage. Is he just a non-metahuman and he's somehow managed to invent a thing that can do this? It already I'm hoping they do the story better, but I don't think that a non-speedster villain as a big bad or main antagonist is another way to go. I think that what we need is if you really want to try and improve the show, go back to its roots. And the roots of it are you need a speedster villain who people are going to be very invested in. Now, you'd have several options. You could do like Daniel West from an alternate Earth where I don't know what kind of story you can work out with that, or Daniel West from the future is cast back by Barry in time and he decides to kill Barry before anything like that ever happens. It's not really like you don't have options that come up. And it'll be very interesting to move forward with. But another non-speedster villain to me seems like the wrong kind of move. And not a very good one if you want to try and improve things at all. It causes a lot of concerns and a lot of problems just by having them suggest that. I don't really feel motivated knowing that it's a guy who needs to rely on a lightning bolt dagger. Triz, if you were to watch season 5, what would your thoughts be?
Season 5 of Flash or Arrow?
Flash. Like, would you go into it giving it another chance? Like, you've had you've had a season break from it. You're going in giving it another chance.
I would. I'll catch up through season 4, I guess.
And I'm back.
Yeah.
I'll trudge through.
Yeah, like I said, I'd moved my phone, didn't I?
Yeah, nah, like, another non-speedster villain to me doesn't really seem like the way to win back the fans, because I think they made the wrong choice in villain for this
No,
season with
they
Devoe.
didn't. What they've done is they took a small villain from the comics and they tried making an entire season about him. Well, we know Cicada, yeah, Cicada's a little bit smaller, but he is is a bit different from the Thinker, where it's not just intelligence and all that. But he could also, like, they might also start doing approach and start doing more than one big bad a season, like do it in halves, for example.
To be fair,
People have said that.
if he were half a villain, if he were villain for the first half, I think that's a very good way to have it because he's an antagonist that way. And
Oh yeah.
and if he led up to a bigger threat, I really like what they've done with Arrow through season 6. Of they've got the same guy as the big bad next season. I think it's pretty much a given. They've got the same guy. They've got Richard Dragon, who was the big bad for Arrow season 6, being the big bad for Arrow season 7 as well.
One moment.
So it'll be an intriguing thing, I guess. But if they have him, then don't try and do too much with him, because otherwise,
You should say about Sighting Dragon.
yeah. So the villain for Arrow season 6, he's actually I think it'll be the main villain of next season as well.
Alright.
So it will be very intriguing to see where that goes. But then he clearly has a lot of more of a story arc to go because, and if they use the guy you're suggesting, what the writers need to do is they need to be careful not to try and do too much with him.
Yeah. I mean, in the comics, he has his lightning bolt dagger can drain the life force from people. No joke.
Here's my opinion on that is that, or rather questions about that, which maybe not in the comics, but will it be like this in the show? Is he a metahuman and he needs that to maybe balance his powers, like similar to what Thor needed his hammer for, which was revealed in Ragnarok? Or is it something he invented?
He either accidentally or deliberately killed his wife, and I think it was deliberately because like a psycho rage or something, and years later, like he obviously regretted it, and years it built up and all that, and he got a dagger that could drain life force from people, and they tried to bring his dead wife back.
That doesn't explain the lightning bolts and stuff, though. So my question here being,
yeah, I don't know much about him. We might have got it from somewhere. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, someone actually mentioned about Cicada last season. I think it was just because of alchemy in the cult. Apparently, Cicada has a cult, but so does Savitar. So they can't really say about the whole alchemy thing.
My question to that would be that is he going to be a metahuman, and this is like something he needs to use his powers in a very sort of controlled manner.
Oh, in a focused way.
Yeah, in a focused way, like what Thor's hammer was for in Ragnarok.
Pardon?
So, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok,
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to give you a spoiler.
It finally has something.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a spoiler here. It's revealed in that film that the reason Thor had his hammer was to focus his power, because otherwise it was tame, unraw, and could do a lot of damage. So what I'm asking here is the lightning dagger for whatever,
maybe, I don't know.
Whatever the fuck his name is for the same purpose.
Cicada. If I could call him Cicada, because it's fucking American. So I've got to get used to the American pronunciation, haven't I?
So, is it going to be something that focuses his strength, or is it just something he was able to
cicada? Like the animal cicadas. That is how it's spelled. Cicada.
Okay, whatever.
But fuck you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in the comics, I don't think he was a metahuman, but we know what CW's like. We know what CW's like.
See, here's the thing: if they go by the comics,
everyone's a metahuman, including detecting metahuman, isn't he? Not because of powers, because of his intellect. He got the metagene from that.
I I think what
Yeah.
we really need is, if they do use him as the big bad for the
Yeah.
season, you have to do it creatively, and you have to do it in a way to keep him interesting. Now, whether that means you need to try and change his motivations slightly, that he could end up not just wanting to bring back his dead wife, but maybe even wanting to bring back all others who were wrongly killed by people, then I think I'd be a lot more on board with that. I think I'd be a bit more on board with that, because it gives him a bit more of a motivation. But you go similar to what an anti-villain is, really, that he's someone with heroic intentions, so he's doing them in villainous ways.
Judging by other rumours, that actually sounds like a kind of Robin Hood kind of idea. You know, you said bringing back people that are wrongly killed or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he killed the people that the Flash saved from death or whatever. It's kind of Robin Hood, killing the people that was wrongfully saved, and bringing back the ones that were wrongfully killed.
To be fair, that gives him
sounds a bit like Robin Hood.
not so much a villain role, but an anti-villain role of he's got heroic intentions.
Yeah.
He goes about them in villainous ways. Another concern I have is, like, are they going to suffer from too many side plots again? Which I think is very much possible. So it'll be worth considering, because
Pardon?
you know, another thing we've got to consider is, are they going to go the route of try and put in too many side plots just to try and mean that every character seems relevant?
Well, it's like, do you know why Team Flash exists in the show?
Why?
Because it's so that in the comics you have all those boxes, like dialogue boxes, where you see the characters' thoughts and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
You can't do that in shows. You have to have other people do it. Otherwise, he'd be talking to himself for half the show.
Yeah.
So that's why they have to bring in other characters.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine with them having other characters. It's just like, how many side plots can we afford to have next season?
If they don't keep them relevant, then they have to start dropping the characters. They have to start Barry talking to himself, basically.
Here's the thing then, in response to that, is that Iris no longer really seems relevant just because of the kind of story arcs she's given. Hopefully that changes next season. And if it means that she is temporarily killed off, and then she's brought back maybe in the season finale.
Don't you want her killed off in any way at some point?
I do want her killed off at some point, even if it's not permanent. Then it gives us a reason to maybe believe she'll come back with a much better arc.
What if she's made into the best character possible and wasn't killed off? What would your thoughts be then?
If she were made into the best possible kind of character, I still think it would be necessary, because it gives Barry another kind of arc to go ahead with, and would he truly be able to resist turning into Savitar? And I think that's why they really wanted to kill her off in season 3 in the first place, even if it wasn't permanently. So it'll be if they do go that way and they want to try and make her a good character before they have this reveal of, they'll kill her off for say the majority of say 10 episodes, and then she comes back in 23.
Yeah.
It could be a bit more, could be a bit less. It gives you a lot more freedom in terms of the arcs that you can then give.
While I didn't want to kill her permanently, I thought I did think they was going to temporarily kill her off, like in the comics.
I do.
Reveal that Joe's not a real dad, and that she actually comes from the future, like in the comics. That's confirmed, by the way. In the comics, she's from the future.
Of fucking course she is.
Yeah, Randolph West and Anne West aren't her actual parents. Those are adoptive parents, basically.
I can't be asked to question it anymore. Is that confirmed in Rebirth, which is the current continuity?
I don't know. It was in the old comics. Because Eobard killed her at a costume party. She was dressed up as Batgirl. And Barry, think. If I was dressed up as Batgirl, who do you think Barry's dressed up as?
Fucking hell. Robin?
No, he was dressed up as the Flash, for fuck's sake.
Well, he's got a fairly big enough ego, hasn't he?
Party, for fuck's sake.
he's got a big enough ego.
That's fucking genius. That's fucking genius. No one's going to suspect it. It's a fucking costume party. No one's going to suspect it is like Barry's the Flash.
That's actually fairly funny, to be fair. I hope they do something like that in season 5. Because it would be pretty funny.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this
Yeah, 'cause-
one video about how the Flash? I'll just you. You guys keep it
What?
I'll be silent.
One moment. Let me just look at the link. If you sent it in, whatever. Huh, weird. I don't see anything.
Another
well.
another thing we need to be careful of. Any other concerns?
One minute. So
There it
you
is.
said before we start going we start going on tangent. Actually, we should reel back from that. So we've mentioned Iris about Timber getting killed off. If they'd have done that like back in season 3, then they could have gone to season 4, and over like the course of the season, had like Barry become more and more violent, trying to resist it and stuff.
Yeah,
A bit like Spider-Man 3. A bit like Spider-Man 3, for fuck's sake. So even then, it's still Spider-Man references in season 4, for fuck's sake.
see, like I think it would have
Like,
made
had
a lot
him
more
punch
sense
someone,
story
like,
arc wise.
breaking her leg.
Yeah,
Like, he breaks her arm or something, and he kind of snaps out of it. And later on, he ends up like breaking 2 legs or something, like 2 legs or something. And then it ends with the season. End of the season without Flash coming back, and you see him just murder him. Just like straight up snaps his neck.
I don't think it should have had. I don't think it should have had it that way.
I don't know. In the comics, that's how it happened.
Yeah, in the comics, but in the show they've established he's not going to kill. So
Actually, Barry's already killed, and I'm not talking about season 2. I quote from Crisis on Earth X. Eobard talked to Barry, yeah, when he was bound up and stuff, yeah. Fucking kinky slut.
I know what you're referring to, and my response to that is. Did he really?
Eobard said to Barry,
Is it really
"All
bad?
the time
No,
you've
no. I
killed
already
me."
know what you're talking about. I already know what you're talking about. You don't need to repeat it.
Yeah, so Barry
lines.
has killed Eobard in the show. In the show's future, Barry has killed Eobard more than once. And in the comics, Eobard is the only person that Barry willfully takes the life of. Hell, even in the Rebirth, even Iris fucking murders Eobard, rips them apart with a black hole gun. Not even kidding.
I'm not even going to question how she gets that. To be fair, because they probably.
Oh no, that was in the future. Eobard kidnapped her and took her to the 25th century. Barry ended up going after him. They had a fight in that. Eobard ended up trapping Barry in the negative speed force. Barry then bursts out of it in a rage, and he's now basically he's not got the speed force, but he's also got the negative speed force as well, which was basically tearing his body apart slowly because it's opposites and all that. It was literally meant like not being the same body. And then him and Eobard ended up fighting and all that, and then but it's revealed the whole how Eobard was pathetic and all that. He said, why'd you keep invading my life and stuff like that. And then Eobard replied with, because it's the only time you'll spend with me. It's quite pathetic. And then Barry basically yelled, he ran around and saying, "You killed my mother," and literally whipped the negative speed force out of him. They ran around him and just, you see, pushed him, and you literally see him separate from his speed force energy. And then Eobard then tried to kill Iris, and literally just then fell over, and it was confused.
Back to the point at hand. Back to the point at hand.
And then that's how she picked up a gun that's nearby and ripped him apart with a black hole gun.
Yeah, back to the point at hand. I don't think they should have had him kill off Eobard.
Oh no, they can't kill off Eobard. The quote for Nash: "He will come back. He always does."
That's true though, and like that's why they have him pop up at least once every season.
Oh yeah. I mean, he should have been like more of the episode. He should have been in more of season 3 and season 4. But there's something I'm not happy about actually. Because it's concerned for season 5, so you'll be happy.
Okay, yep.
Okay, you know, it's centered around Batgirl, yeah.
If it's save this for when we discuss like the future seasons, because that'll be if we record tomorrow. So save it for then.
1 minute, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Save it for tomorrow
cool,
in
cool.
case for because that's when we'll discuss things like this year's crossover and stuff.
Alright, well, without going into it too much,
No,
I'm
save
just
it for
worried
tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow because I'll have a lot of thoughts I
It's-
want to give on that, and it'll be a perfect point for a video. So
it's not about
no, wait, because it'll be the
portion of crossover.
perfect point for a video. So just leave it be.
That won't. Okay, basically, I'm just worried that they're not going to focus on the Flash of 100th episode like they did with Arrow. Last year's crossover, Arrow had its 100th episode, yeah?
No, that was it. Well, not last year's, but the years before.
Last season's crossover,
Yeah.
season 2's crossover,
Yeah, no,
was,
that is going to be a concern and stuff, and I do wonder what they're going to have done for that, but I think
just imagine it.
I think at the end of the day
They
we'll
have
have to grind our
Eobard,
teeth
Zoom,
and
Black
deal with it.
Flash, Savitar, Trajectory, Rival, all come back. Oh, and of course, you can't forget DeVoe. And then, of course, comes up every couple of seasons. That mugger, though. He always seems to rob Barry. Like, he keeps on robbing Barry and getting arrested for it. Like, the one person he targets, pretty much. I guess he just wants that money.
Hopefully they bring the money guy back as well. No, but
Oh, God, that'd be epic. All
it
the
would
villains
be.
in one episode. Imagine that. Of course, it wouldn't be real. It wouldn't be real. Like in Arrow, it was all real. It's like in his head. Well, in machine.
You know,
whatever.
it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But it is the 100th episode, so we are going to have to sort of grind our teeth and deal with whatever they throw our way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, let's talk about the new schedule because I think we're near enough done now.
Yeah. Cool. That's good. Because I've got about 10 minutes for my bus. So that's speed up a bit. No pun intended. It is intended.
Okay, so I don't actually know the scheduling for The Flash, but I do know the scheduling for these three shows. Supergirl is going to be on Sunday nights.
Yep.
Arrow
Actually,
and Legends.
I saw.
Arrow and Legends are going to be on Monday nights.
One moment. I actually saw the schedule recently. I've got to find where it was. One moment. But Flash and Legends tomorrow on the same day, as far as I'm aware. They're still on Tuesdays.
Nope. Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow are now on the same day, and that is Monday.
Oh, what is sharing of Flash then? Something else. Oh, Black Lightning.
Probably, and then you have Supergirl on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think the Flash will keep its Tuesday slots, and it'll be like just done over 4 days.
Yeah.
Stuff. So I think we'll have the crossover work this year the same way it did last year. There'll be Supergirl, Arrow, but maybe swap around Legends and Flash.
Yeah. You've been the spoilers part. Pinned, maybe?
So, that'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
But, what do you think of that schedule then? What do you think of it?
It seems fairly alright.
Do you think we're going to have any sort of alterations made after the mid-season finales?
I don't know.
I don't think it seems likely that we will because they've got a sort of 6-day schedule now. So
Yeah.
I think it's like Sundays to Fridays. So essentially, what we're looking at is that Supergirl's on the first day of the week, and then it's carrying on up to Friday. Saturday is the break for it all. So if people need to catch up, there's their chance to do so.
Oh
Probably reruns and repeats. And to be fair, I think it's a good schedule because they're finally able to sort of keep it closer together because they've got a bit more time and stuff that they can do that with. And
Yeah.
it's a very good idea to do that. I don't really see them changing anything around. I think the only sort of changes we'd have would be either for crossovers, and at the same time, I don't really see much changing in that. I think we'll get a bit of a crossover. I think we might get a few other sort of smaller crossovers next season as well. Oh, because
Yeah.
we might get one where Flash has interactions with, say, Roy Harper, because he's finally coming back as a series regular in season 7, and
Alright.
or other members of like Team Arrow or Team Green Arrow or whatever the fuck you want to call the team now. It'll be interesting to sort of see how it works. So I don't really have any ill feelings towards that. I think it's a good schedule. I don't really think it's down to anything in particular. I think they've decided, okay, let's put these at different points in time. Legends has
Found
been...
it.
Oh, lovely. What day is the Flash
Okay.
going to be then?
Wait. Okay, Sundays, 8-7 Central, Supergirl, new time slot. 9-8-7 Central, Charmed. Mondays, 8-7 Central, Legends tomorrow. And then 9-8 Central, Arrow, new time slot. And Tuesdays, 8-7 Central, Flash. And 9-8 Central, Black Lightning.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching Black Lightning next season. I stopped watching after about 5 episodes of the 13 they had this season. I think we'll have the shift for the crossover where they'll do it the same sort of order they did it last year for Crisis on Earth X. But it'll be very interesting to see. It could change. That's just my theory on like the way that'll work.
Me? Oh, God's sake. Can you hear me again?
Yes.
Cool. We'll glitch out for a minute. Super lifer.
But I think that's everything. Do you?
Yep, and just so you can see it as well in the future. Here you go.
Thank you. That will be very useful.
Well, not now. We already crossed it up off.
Yeah. Like it'll be good. It'll be good to see how they do it all, because they clearly run most of their shows in the evening.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I think we already know the majority of the way it will go, so it's going to be very interesting and very enjoyable to see that carry on and change. But thank you, Triz, for your occasional cameo appearances.
Yeah, thank you. Remember, guys,
I'm
this
just
guy's voice
gonna-
acting comic Savitar, and while we may not seem like anything at the moment, because he's talking normally, he does sound good as Savitar.
I'm assuming your Savitar is Russian.
No, he's not Russian. He's just from a third world nation, and he kind of that has a crazy voice.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying for now.
I'm going to link this guy to my BTVA page soon.
Whatever. Oh well.
But Triz, it'll be good to see you on the next podcast where you'll officially be taking over from Savitar.
I think you'll come crawling back to me eventually, Kanan. Eventually. It may take a while, but you'll be back.
Nah, won't you?
We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Jack.
And there's one reason I'm not going to be coming back to you for the podcasts.
What's his name? Which everyone already knows that follows your channel knows anyway. So.
No, because you never stop with the fucking impressions.
Yeah, I never stop at all. Someone says the reverse.
So we'll see Triz on the next podcast replacing Savitar, and if we ever decide to have a third host, I will put up a fucking job application place for where you can do that.
I'll make up a plan for you and then be like, goodbye.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Have a good day, night, evening or morning, and as always, peace.
May Speed Force be with you.